Last week on Midwest Flyways, we had Joe Heintz on. He talked about his ridiculous lander, molt migrator hunting, and his brand new call company, Northland Calls. Don't listen to it. Let's take a turn on this conversation here.
Okay.
Let's get down to the real meat and potatoes.
Oh.
Joseph, you see all over social media, right? All these new kids getting into hunting.
Yeah.
Can you just go into like what is truly important for someone as they're getting into it? Because it's super intimidating getting into it, right? And we have a lot of new hunters that are listening to our podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So I think someone as influential as you and who's been doing it for so long and is so good at it, if you could just give someone like the real meat and potatoes on like what they should really care about in being a good duck goose killer.
Okay. Well, like I always talk about, it's practice your calling, right? I've kicked the horse on that 1,000 times. Practice your calling. You're going to want to scout, and you're not just going to want to scout to what fields they're going to, but you also want to find where they're roosting. And the roost is not only a great app, but it's also a place where the geese rest and hang out, and sleep. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So watch where those birds are going in that body of water, like this lake or this pond, and then scouting. Like you have to dial in the scouting and dial in the meet and the greet with farmers also. You have to be good at that, because if it's not for them, you ain't got nowhere to hunt, right? So you have to start good relationships with farmers. And other than that, I think the main one would be if somebody gives you the privilege of going on their property to hunt, don't you fucking dare leave garbage and used shells and any of that shit out in that field. Because not only are you going to ruin it for you, but you're going to ruin it for everybody else in town and everybody else everywhere. Right?
It's also extremely disrespectful.
Right, exactly. So pick up your garbage. If the field's wet, don't drive out in the middle of his field, right? Maybe you got to wait a couple days when it dries, or take a wheeler if you ask if you can take a wheeler, So
the worst thing you can ever hear when you go ask for permission is never just a no. Like getting a no is fine. If you're just like, no, I just don't let people hunt.
Yeah.
When I hear people, when I pull up and I'm like, hey, I've got 3 buddies, we're thinking about hunting here. And the guy's like, no, about 8 years ago, some guy drove into my field when I told him not to, and he fucked it up for everybody after that. I'm just like, fuck, man. Seriously?
Yep.
Like, this is such a good field. And now for the last 8 years, because some jackass thought I'm not hunting there again.
Yep.
Now nobody's hunting here again.
I had a guy tell me that I let a group of guys go out there, and after they shot a couple geese in his alfalfa field, they plucked all the birds, and the wind just blew it all over his alfalfa. Yeah. As it was in rows to dry. Oh. Right? It's like, you guys, I don't know. Just I've heard it all, stupid stuff. Nope, guy shot my cattle, guy shot my shed, guy
pulled out a gun on me.
Yeah, drove out there. Stupid shit,
Yeah, we had a guy in Canada tell us some dudes went back to his house after he told them not to hunt in his field.
Yeah.
And they hunted it anyway. Okay. So he drove his combine out there and combined their decoys.
Yeah.
They left and went to his house and held the gun to his wife.
Sounds pretty fucking gangster to me, dude.
Pretty
I don't know.
crazy, bro.
That's pretty wild, yeah.
It's unnecessary.
Yeah.
Just nuts, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is with people. Isn't that crazy, bro?
Yeah, that is crazy. I haven't heard that one.
That was wild when he was like, they went back to my house with a gun.
Whoa.
I'm like, are you fucking serious?
Yeah, I wonder who that
was.
You
go to prison for that.
Oh, for sure. You can't just break into somebody's house and put a gun in their wife.
I don't know if they broke in. I think they knocked on the fucking door.
Really?
And she just went to the fucking door and they held a gun to her.
Yeah, that's got to be illegal. I'll ask ChatGPT.
Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure
I don't think
is illegal.
You don't have to ask.
Double check. Yeah.
It's Joey GPT, I guess.
Pretty much.
Joey.
Definitely
it's Robert
illegal.
John Joseph Vassallo Jr. GPT.
Nobody's typing that in.
Yeah, nobody.
Write that down.
Not even me later.
Write that down. It's better.
I don't need to. I'll listen to it.
You have my personality in there.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, right.
It's a stupid fucking question.
Yeah.
Joe, I'm supposed to ask you, wait, before we do, by the way, this podcast is brought to you by Turtle Box.
Yeah.
Do you have a Turtle Box?
I don't know.
You need a Turtle Box.
No.
They're sick, and I love the fact, too, that they're loud as hell. I don't know what.
Loud.
I don't know what that.
Indestructible thing.
Do you see they made a grande?
Huh?
They have a grande speaker now.
It's
like a Taco Bell version?
Well, it's like that freaking tall. It's huge.
Really?
It's grande for large.
For large, I guess.
Yes.
Large.
Like myself.
Large.
Yeah, so go check out Turtle Box, guys. I'm supposed to ask you, there was a time you were hunting with turkey, and he said you're up in Fergus, and he wanted me to have you tell the story about when you went to the park. You went to park the truck. It was cold as shit. Geese started flying, and he shot.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I went to. He started off with, "You went to the park." What was I doing?
He went to park the truck.
I went to park the truck.
Yeah.
And I sat there. We were hunting the airport pit. I went to go park the truck. And I was sitting there on my phone because I'm like, they're not going to fly. It'll be a little while. I probably sat in that truck for like 10 minutes. And all of a sudden my phone rings like, "You got to get the fuck out here. What? God damn, dude." I'm like, "Why?" He goes, "There's geese rolling over the top of me like crazy. I've shot 2 of them." I'm like, "No, you haven't." And I like look out I open the door and look up, and there's like a low flock of like 20 going right towards them. I'm like, "Oh shit." So I go running out there.
Yeah.
And this single goose which if I was in the pit looking out from left to right, went in, and it went right by where I was going to sit, and turkey, bow, and like kind of wounded it. Like his feet dropped, but it hit the ground pretty hard and his wing was there.
Yeah.
He was kind of walking away, and I go sprinting up to it and I tackle it, and I look at it and I'm like, "No way. It's got a leg band on it." I'm like, "No, dude, if I would have wasted all that time sitting in my truck, I would have been fine. I would have probably killed that leg band from under Turk," which is fine because I'm glad he got it.
Yeah.
Just kidding. But you know what I mean? Like, it was just jumping in the pit. I'm like, "Turkey, check this one out." And he's like, "No way." Like, he was pretty pumped about it. So, and then we did really good. We killed our limited geese, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, he seemed pretty fired up to have you talk about that one.
Yeah.
The time that he got a band out from under you.
Yeah, so you can rub it on me.
The only time.
Rub it in on me.
All right, and then I'm supposed to ask you about Nick J said miserable drives home from hunting trips, specifically Iowa and North Dakota.
Oh, yeah. Man, me and Nick one time coming back from Bismarck, we got caught in a very, very, very bad snowstorm. It was one of those trips where we killed like over 80, you know. It was awesome. We were coming back, and we should have left the day before, but the hunt was too good. So we're like, well, let's just keep going. They were closing down highways. We would go through, and they'd close them down right behind us. So we're cutting through, and it was really bad. And a couple times Nick was just losing his mind because he hates driving in that type of way. I mean, who likes it? Right?
Nobody does.
But there's one time me and Nick were coming back from like Iowa or Nebraska or somewhere, and it wasn't a snowstorm, but it rained and then froze solid.
Oh, you were on 35W.
Probably.
Yeah.
And I mean, bad.
I hate that highway.
Bad. Nick is screaming. He'd be sitting there driving, and all of a sudden he'd go, "I'm losing it." And the tail end would kick out and the trailer would show. And I'd be like, "Calm down, Nick, calm down. You're going to be fine." He's like, "God fucking damn it. How come there's not any fucking trees in this goddamn fucking state?" He's just losing his mind. I'm like, "Nick, cool down, dude. You focus on the road." And every 10, 20 minutes, "I'm losing it." He'd lose it. Oh, man.
The whole way
That
home.
was a nightmare. We were only going like 20, 30 miles an hour. But it's like, if we go in that ditch, it's over. Game over with.
Big time. Were you driving a truck, pulling a trailer?
Yeah.
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 Nick's old shitty ass F-150.
Yeah, the Ford. And something was wrong with his ventilation system on the passenger side where I was sitting. And there's like a hole. And it would blow the coldest air in there. So I couldn't like feel my legs. I'm like Lieutenant Dan sitting in that bitch. It was so cold. And I finally ripped one of his towels out of his luggage that was damp and wet, and it smelled exactly like Nick does. And
Bro,
A damp towel.
I shoved it in there, and it fixed it. He drove around with that towel in there for like 8 years, he said.
dude, this is so funny because me and Carter were on our way home from Iowa this past year, and my truck would like intermittently have heat and not have heat, and there must be
It was
a
cold,
hole.
bro.
Yeah.
It was 2 degrees.
Oh, God.
I think on our way home it was like -9. Wasn't it, Carter?
It was bad.
Bro,
Where were you coming back from?
Iowa.
We were hunting with Flum.
Same shit. Dude.
Nice.
So we're on our way home though, and Carter's sitting there, and like my truck would get to where one side would have heat and then one side wouldn't sometimes. Carter is sitting there quiet for like an hour. And like an hour in, he's like dude, what is going on with your heat? And I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? And he's like, bro, there is a funnel of cold air coming from the outside straight into my fucking legs, bro.
Just
Like my feet and my legs are completely rock solid frozen. I'm like, what?
What,
dude?
what
He took a fucking sweatshirt from the back of my truck and balled it up, didn't you, Carter?
Yeah, I wrapped it around my feet to try to warm them up.
I thought you put it in that hole.
No, I couldn't find the hole.
Never can.
There's a hole. There's a hole in the passenger side of every truck, apparently.
Same thing with Nick, and it was just bad. But yeah, he kept that thing in there.
Yeah.
He might have even sold that truck with it in there. I'm serious.
Probably.
Did he sell that truck?
Oh, yeah, he sold it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Poor
And
bastard.
then he got this brand new truck, right? 2019.
Oh, poor guy.
Great truck. Like, way too nice of a truck for Nick, right?
Obviously.
But I mean,
Yeah.
his dad, or his, not his dad, his uncle down in Colorado, I think, is a car dealer or whatever, gave him a good deal. And Nick deserved a good truck, whatever.
Does he?
We go to Oklahoma, and I'm like, hey, we got to throw stubble in the back of the truck. So let's drive up, throw stubble in, and then back out and park over by the trailer, and we'll just hook up in the morning. All right. So we go and do all that, and it's 4 a.m. We jump in the truck, we drive to the spot, pull the stubble out. I'm like, hey, Nick, I'll go and park the truck. Don't worry about it. Like, I love walking and having a coffee and just walking, right?
Right.
When the sun's when it's still dark out. So I go and park the truck. I come back, we have a hunt. I go get the truck. I come back with the truck, and there is a disgusting scrape mark down the side of his truck, like in the paint, like bad. It looks like Wolverine got to it, like scraped it, right? Bad. And Nick goes, what the fuck? And I'm like, I didn't do that. I literally went down this gravel road, took a left, backed out, went out. I would have felt it if something happened to that, right? And he's like, well, fuck, he's trying to think of stuff and trying to blame me for stuff, We get back to the lodge, and I go, hey, Nick, you see that big field stake that's like stuck in the ground? It's like tilted like this, and there's tire tracks going right next to it. Straight in front of that was the stubble pile. I go, when you filled that truck up with stubble, did you back into that pole? He's like, that's what that was.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, Nick.
So he's blaming you the whole time?
Yeah, and I get out and look at that pole, and right along the side that his truck would have been on, it's just scraped to shit.
Yeah.
It's like, God damn,
naturally.
Dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
Bro,
he gets.
I don't
That's
know
so
if it
classic Nick, though.
Yeah.
Just oblivious.
Getting mad at me, thinking I
Oblivious.
did it. Like, yeah, Nick, I'd lie to you about that, right? Like, holy shit.
Bro, I don't know if it was a time we hunted with Nick or what it was, but I think we hunted with him, and he pulled up in a Subaru Outback.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That was the first time that I ever hunted with
Wasn't
Nick.
that Nicole's car?
No, I don't think so. I think that was Nick's car.
I think it was yeah.
Yeah.
But either way, he pulled
Good
up in it,
scouter.
and I was like, "What do you hunt out of this?" She's like, "Oh fuck yeah."
Yeah.
I'm like,
He loved
"Oh
it.
yeah." He's like, "Yeah." I strap whatever to the top. I throw
Yep.
shit in the back. I mean, I don't use the back seat. So
Yep.
I'm like, "Sick, dude."
Yeah.
I think he pulled a trailer with that thing.
Yeah, oh yeah. He probably put a ball hitch on it. And then when,
I'm sure
when
he
that
did.
went to shit, he tried finding another one too.
Yeah,
Like, he loved them.
that Outback, that all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
They work though, dude. They fucking go.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Nick gets crazy with that type of shit.
Yeah, he's always got some.
He's such a character in his own way. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I'm talking about him like he's dead, but I'll never forget the time where he invites me out to North Dakota snow goose hunting or some shit. And I'm like, yeah, fuck it. Why not? No, this is before Roy and I broke up, but we go out there. He's like, yeah, they're not coming to our decoy spread, and I don't really feel like setting up this many decoys again. So I say we just try to pass shoot them. This field's unmarked, unposted, whatever. So we go out there and we sit down in this ditch, and I'm like trying to stop smoking cigarettes at this point. And, Nick has always been battling
nicotine addiction. For
nicotine.
Sure.
Yeah. Nick's Nick,
Right. Yeah.
Nick's Nicky. And he goes, do you want a nicotine patch? And I was like,
Mhm.
I've never had one before. And he's like,
Mhm.
you're not supposed to cut them. But
Mhm.
I don't have that many left. So, you offered it to me.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And he's like, it's like 23 milligrams. I was like, that sounds like a lot.
That's a lot.
He goes, well, yeah, they're step one.
And I was like, okay.
God.
And he's like, step 2 gets less, and then step 3 is like the least amount. He's like, but I don't have a whole lot left, so I'm going to cut this one in half, but I can't like save it for later. That's why I'm offering it to you. I was like, sure. He goes, just don't fall asleep with the nicotine.
No.
Just don't fall asleep with the nicotine patch on.
Yeah.
And I was like, why? He goes, you have the most fucked up dreams.
Violent nightmares of all time.
I was like, okay. Naturally, we fall asleep. We're waiting for snow geese to start trading.
Yeah.
Sleeping in a layup
Just
line.
No. We're sleeping in a ditch, Cal. We're sleeping in a ditch
Just
because
having
we've been.
violent dreams.
I wake up and it's cold outside, right? It's like 42 degrees in North Dakota. And I wake up, dude, I am pouring sweat out of like every orifice of my body.
Yeah.
God.
And I wake up and
Nick's dead.
Nick is like right next to me. Nick's like right next to me. He's staring at me. He's fucking watching me sleep. And he goes, nightmares, huh?
Oh my God.
I told you not to fall asleep.
Yeah, right.
But I can't really say anything because I fell asleep too. I had a pretty fucked up dream.
It's nightmares, huh?
Fucking classic.
And then like for the next hour,
Oh.
it got like really sunny. And there's fucking bees everywhere. These bees are all over the place, Joe. I can't explain to you
Fucking
how many
hate
bees. I hate bees with my whole heart. I've been stung so many times. I go, dude, what the fuck is up with all of these bees? He goes, oh, I was wondering what all those bee boxes
What all
were
those
over
white boxes are over there, yeah.
I was like, you notice these? He's like, yeah, they're on that side of the field and on this side of the field.
Yeah.
We're 15 feet away from these fucking bee boxes,
As they're
Nick.
trading. Yeah.
And they're landing on you and they're like all
Yeah.
discombobulated because it's still kind of cold.
Right.
Oh my God, dude. I've had so many funny.
Nightmares, huh? Yeah.
He's literally Charlie Day from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
He's a fucking wild card.
Bro, of
he's
all the
funny.
fucking shit I've heard of Nick doing, of all the crazy stories, him at Game Fair with those kids talking to him, and he goes over and takes a pinch of mouse mix
Oh, and then ate it.
and fucking put it in his mouth like a
Yeah.
chew.
Yeah.
And bro,
It's wintergreen.
Yeah. People thought it was poison, though, you know?
Yeah.
So somebody told me
rat
that, like,
poison.
Nick's been eating that mouse mix stuff over there that deteriorates or like gets rid of mice. I was like, why is he doing that? Like, what the fuck? He's like, yeah, I'll go do it again. And he came up and did it again. I'm like, quit it. He's like, it's natural. You can do it. It's just got a very heavy menthol smell to it.
A very heavy menthol
Yeah.
smell too.
But I mean, when you see mouse detergent type of whatever,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know,
You think it's poison.
you think it's poison.
Of
And you
course.
see Nick J eating it and you're like,
Yeah.
this makes sense.
No, these kids, dude, they were like traumatized, you know.
What the fuck?
Seen a guy do drugs right in
Oh
front
no,
of us.
no, they were not traumatized, dude. They were egging.
for
They were egging him on,
Telling
for
him to
sure.
do it.
Because Nick
Do it
is,
again.
you know, Nick's the one who suggested it.
For sure, bro.
He's like, I'll eat that,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, really? No, you won't.
Yep.
Bet me $5. I bet you I
Right.
paid for my beer for the night.
Yeah,
Weird.
for the night. Yeah, Nick's a classic. I'll never forget the story you told us about the sleeping in that guy's house in North
Yeah,
Dakota.
that was
That's-
crazy. That was
That's
crazy.
a crazy one.
That's a good one.
for sure. Yeah, man.
Good one.
A lot of good fun stories. I think it's one of those things that when you're with people hunting, fun stuff is just when you're with people you like,
Yeah.
you know, when you're out hunting, I don't know, man. You just always end up with the best fucking
It's one
stories.
of the best times and the best stories. You really, that's kind of, you know, I don't know. And I will say, I don't want to say that's why I want to get out of guiding, because when I do guide, I do meet such cool freaking people that
Yeah.
end up being like
Friends.
buddies of mine. I've made good friends out of it.
Like Zach.
You know, right, correct. Zach and Cody and you know, a bunch of other people that are just kick-ass dudes. One guy in particular, his name's Ricky fucking Fender, and I'm gonna chop this up and send it to him. Ricky Fender is from the south, and they do not have pull tabs down there. And when you come up north, boy, do we get into some pull tabs.
Good Lord. You get into some
So
fucking pull tabs.
no, everybody else does too. If you don't know what a
It's
pull
not just
tab
me doing
is,
it. Everybody's doing it.
yeah. It's what all the cool kids are doing, so you might as well do
Everybody knows it.
Everybody knows it. But if you don't know what it is, it's basically a $1 ticket that you rip open, and
or $2,
or a $2, or a $3, or a $5. But the higher the value, the more you can win. Like if you're ripping a $1 box, like the tickets are only $1, you can only win like 200 to 250. But if you're ripping a $5 box where each ticket is $5,
$1,000,
you could win $1,000, right? But it gets scary after you get over $2. We call that
it's gambling.
It's deep water, and it gets scary because you can drown fast. But Ricky Fender came out one time, and there was 3 $750 winners in this $3 box, and like 3 400s, 2 200s, and just a bunch, like a couple hundreds in there. So Ricky decides, well, why play the little boxes? I'll just go into this box and hit one of the big ones. And I'm like, Ricky, it's not how it fucking works.
You're from the South.
Yeah, right. So he put in like $50, and he hit 750, or I think it's 750. And I was like, oh my God, dude. The box is pretty full. So now there's only 2 more 750s in there. Absolutely no way you're going to hit it. He ends up jumping back in, hits a 400. He ends up jumping back in. I think he hit like another 400 and another 100, and he ended up hitting that other 750.
Holy shit.
Yeah, dude. I'm like,
this guy hit like $2,500 in pull tabs?
Yeah. But I mean, he also probably spent $600 after all that. But he walked out of there with well over $1,000, let's say, right?
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh, pull tabs are easy. It's like, no,
dude.
that was the best run of pull tabs, top 3 best run of pull tabs I've probably ever seen.
Yeah, man. You like to gamble.
I do like gamble.
I mean, you're only posting your wins, of course.
Yeah.
But I've seen you posting like Venmo me, and I'll pull tabs for you.
I have done that before.
What is up with that?
I don't know.
What?
No, I mean,
you're just like,
people will message me and be like, hey, put me in this box, or I go to that bar, put me in this box.
and they Venmo you.
And they'll Venmo me, yeah. Or I'll pay for it, and then next time I see him type of deal. But yeah,
do you just Venmo him back, or you just wait till you see him?
I just wait till I see him.
Yeah.
Or I can Venmo him back. I mean, it's kind of mixed. I don't do it a lot. You know what I mean? Because I don't know the legal stuff into it.
Yeah.
But it's nothing carried away, we'll say, right? But
it's like friends throwing you $20.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Kind of shit. But
yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty sick.
It is. It's gotten fun. Yeah. It's gotten fun.
Is pull tabs your favorite?
Yeah, probably.
No.
Blackjack and pull tabs.
No, Joe's a blackjack guy.
Yeah, blackjack and pull tabs are my favorite.
Do you remember when we were at the Catfish Bend at
Burlington?
Burlington.
Yeah.
And you were like coaching me how to play blackjack. You're like, no, we need to leave this table. You and I walked away with a shitload of money.
Yeah, if you do it right, you can do it. But as soon as
you taught me that I know nothing about blackjack that day.
Right.
Like, oh
if you feel a stale table or a stale shoe, it's called, where the shoe. If you feel a stale shoe, just get up and leave. Don't be ashamed to get up and leave. It's not their money.
Right.
It's your fucking money.
Right.
Fuck everybody at that table. Get out of there. Also, if I'm at a hot table and I'm sitting with 2-3 guys and we're getting drunk and having a freaking blast, we end up winning. Like, it's just in the air. It goes into the shoe, you know? And then if some guy sits down and he's like, oh, let me guess, you have another 21, or let me guess, there's a face card popping up, and he's just killing your vibe, I'm fucking out of here. I'm done.
Yeah.
Right? So now those are just kind of the rules I live by. But with pull tabs, I have been doing pretty good. I have been.
Are you up overall?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Over my whole career of gambling, I'm definitely up. Definitely up.
What's your trick?
Don't be a pussy. I don't know what it would be. Trick for what?
I mean, are you like looking for a box that's like got not much left in it? Like,
yeah, sometimes I will attack the low boxes for sure. Now let's get one thing square. Gambling isn't fucking cool. It can tank you, and it can, you know what I mean? Like,
gamble responsibly.
It can be a very bad addiction for some people if you don't know how to manage it.
For sure.
And just because you see me doing it and your buddies are doing it and you're winning, sometimes it's just not there, right?
Yeah, if you're a high school kid, don't take your last $1,000 to the casino.
Yeah, don't be stealing your mom's jewelry and shit, right? That's not cool. Even if you do win, that's still not cool.
For sure.
So just be careful with it. But anyways, with pull tabs, I do like going in those smaller boxes where there's only like 1 or 2 big winners left, but that's it. So people are scared to jump in there. I don't know. I just kind of do the math and just look at it.
You
like,
use ChatGPT.
Yeah. And it's like, take ChatGPT, take a picture of it, and Chat will never lie to you. So
that's right. Yeah,
but
all
no.
the information that she kicks out is 100% accurate.
Yeah.
How much do you think you're up overall?
Oh God.
$4,000
For tax purposes,
Sure.
$200.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I don't know. I have no idea, to be honest. I've been gambling for a while,
And
but I'm
then-
also not a gambling addict. Like I'm not going to leave here and go to the bar and gamble. I don't wake up and go to the bar.
It's
and
like a
gamble.
social thing.
In
the right setting.
I probably go to the casino 4 times a year, and we usually camp there. Right? We take the camper and we'll go and camp and hit
Make
the
a
casino.
weekend out of it.
Yeah, make a weekend. You're not going to see me at, hey fellas, it's freaking 1 a.m. Let's go to the casino.
Yeah, Monday night, Joe's
yeah.
at Mystic Lake by himself.
Yeah, right. I only go to Vegas for 3 days because that's all I can handle.
Yeah.
And,
Vegas is such a crazy city.
Vegas is wild.
Yeah.
And lately, Vegas has been kicking my ass because I love watching cards come out and playing cards for so long. I'll go up $200, $300, $400, and then I'll go down and I'm starting to pull $100 out of my wallet because I've sat at the table for 5 hours.
Yeah.
You know, that's because you get there and then my problem is I go up right away because I'm sober. I have good thoughts and I'm dialed in. And then I tank myself because I get drunk and then I don't want to leave.
Right.
And I just
You're just
didn't
there
leave
for
when I
fun.
should have. But
Yeah.
the problem is okay, you go up $300-$400, right? Some guys go up bigger money than that. I don't care. I'm just there to have a little fun in Vegas, right?
Yeah.
I'll go up $400 and I should have fucking left. And then when you do leave, it's like, all right, Joey, what are you doing? Oh, I'm going to go play blackjack. All right, what are you doing, Cal? Oh, I'm going to play some slots. And it's like, all right, well, I'm up $400, but I'm here for 3 more days. So it's like, now what am I going to do?
Yeah.
And then you sit there, have a couple drinks and fuck around. And then, well, I might as well go sit back down, right? Because that's what you do here.
Yeah, you're just doing something.
So I
Stay
actually
busy.
learned one of my favorite things to do now is get a big ass drink and I'll go and watch all those people on Fremont Street in them little circles do their performance stuff.
Yeah.
I'll just sit there and watch them. Just burn like 2 hours doing that. Or I'll go into Circa and just watch the games. But then I catch myself betting on them. So
Right.
Yeah. Do you bet on sports?
not like I used to.
Sure. Yeah.
No, that new wave of sports betting that's coming through.
Yeah, the parlays
the
and stuff.
parlays and
Yep.
stuff. I've never done it once. No,
Yeah.
Carter's a big sports bettor.
really.
Yeah, Carter loves parlays.
Yeah.
Have you ever hit a big one? Like, what's your biggest win?
Last NBA Finals, I won. I think it was 700 something.
That's pretty good.
Carter
Okay.
Carter's gotten like he's weird about it now though. He'll have like he'll send me one card. It'll be like just 2 players. Just be
Yeah.
like 2 players, and the bet is like 5. It's like to win $20.
Yeah.
But he's got a system figured out where he'll have like 10 of those bets lined up, and
Okay.
like sure they're $20 wins, but if you hit on 7 of the 10,
Mhm.
like you're winning $120 every night.
I've got research bets and I got vibe bets. Research
Yeah,
bets
yeah.
make money. Vibe bets
Tank
almost
you.
never. Yeah.
Kick you in the nuts.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
I only bet with 5 bets, and they all lose.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
How are people betting on like this person's gonna cry when they win the Masters?
I
You
don't.
know?
Right,
I don't
right,
know
right.
if that is that real
Or like
now.
the heads
What's
or
that?
tails coin flip.
Carter,
type
that's
deal.
real.
Yeah. It's the.
What color is the Kool-Aid going to be when they throw it on the coach?
It's insane.
It's more like the off-brand sports books that offer that to try to get people to bet on it.
Is that same sports book I keep seeing that's like every time Angel Reese misses her first shot?
That shit's hilarious.
It's
Oh,
insane.
dude. Bang! That's
Bang,
my
yeah.
favorite videos. Have you seen those?
Oh fuck yeah!
Andrew
I've
Reese
seen 'em.
goes up for another 3, wide open 3, bang, and just
It's an
airballs
airball.
it.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Dude.
it's great.
Yeah, she misses a lot of shots.
I looked up, dude. I actually started. My mom loves basketball, so I started getting into basketball and watching the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
And we're getting our ass kicked. We're probably done actually, but Caitlin Clark, dude, she's that girl, and she's making it fun to watch. And I looked up tickets when they come and play Minnesota, the
Yeah.
Lynx, and tickets are violently expensive.
bro.
They were like $500 to $1,000. You know, it's like, whoa,
Dude, she sells out every arena.
yeah, dude.
That's the thing. They were like last year. They were talking about Caitlin Clark. They were talking
Yeah.
about the Chicago Sky where Angel Reese plays. Like their
Yeah,
average
yeah.
attendance was like 5,000, 6,000, 6,000, 8,000, 12,000.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, 17.7 thousand. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
what's that night? Oh, it's Caitlin
Yeah,
Clark's
it's
night.
Caitlin Clark's night. Yeah.
It's just
I'm
crazy.
proud of her, dude, for real. Like women's sports just wasn't the thing. And When she came around, she's making it a thing.
You know, you got to find a few of those players that are like just that good.
Yeah.
You know, that can just really do it. I think the NBA has that like superstardom.
Yeah.
Where there's like players that can just take over a game.
Yeah.
You need that if people are going to watch.
When Caitlin Clark is playing, the attendance is 105% higher.
Mm-hmm.
Yikes.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
She's like the...
That's actually so crazy. She seems like quite the humble person still, too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, like you can't get under her skin and kicks ass.
But if you like hear that statistic about yourself... Like, let's say you go on someone's channel, like say our podcast, right? And our numbers go up 105%. You're going to be like, what's up, bitch?
You owe me some money.
Right.
But no, yeah, it's cool. And it's also kind of funny how competitive the other girls are getting and trying to trash her and tear it
they
down
want
too.
her bad.
Yeah,
making it
like,
racist too.
Yeah, that too. And it's like, yo, dude, she's like putting the basketball back on the map and you guys are trying to cut her throat about it. I don't know. That's kind of how I feel about it.
It's pretty crazy.
Whatever.
Well, it's like our industry, right? Mm-hmm. You have someone coming up who's up and coming, and then you go and you're like, he's a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's terrible for the sport. It makes the sport look bad.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
There is a lot of that though.
What's one thing that somebody could do in hunting where you're like, I don't like that guy?
For me to publicly say it?
Yeah. Maybe not publicly, but just something that gets under your skin that people do and where you're like, I don't like him.
Here's something recently that's been getting underneath my skin is when people are just saying shit to say it. You know, they're saying it for clout.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like
what do you mean?
They don't necessarily think that.
Yeah.
You know, they'll just get on TikTok, Instagram, a podcast, and they'll just talk shit.
Yeah.
In general. But that's not how they actually feel. They're doing it to get views and to be controversial.
Yep.
That pisses me off.
I know what you mean.
That makes me upset.
Yeah.
I think there's a way you can do it where you're like trying to make people think, but there's definitely like a second group of people that are literally just doing it to piss people off.
Yeah, they're doing it. They're doing it for the views. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I don't like that. Right. Just be yourself.
Yeah.
Be yourself. And if yourself isn't someone that can amass those views, then it just feels like you're very disingenuous.
I will tell you something that really pisses me off. Like when you go out with someone to hunt, and this isn't like social media related necessarily, but if I go out to hunt with you and I have a good appreciation, I think, for people that are out there because they're like serious about what they do and they want to shoot birds. Yep. Right. But there's a very different way that you can treat people, you know, to where like when sometimes you'll show up and somebody's genuinely just an asshole.
Right.
You know, and you're like, damn, dude, like,
yeah, you don't got to be like that.
You don't got to be like that, bro. Right. Like if you really know what you're doing, like if you really know what we're supposed to be doing out here and like you're going to dictate some of that stuff, I will already believe you if you really know.
Yep.
Like you can tell when someone really knows what they're doing, when they really have studied the birds that we're hunting and like they know what they're going to do or they have a good idea of it. Absolutely. And when someone's just out there like just trying shit, you know what I mean? And when someone's just trying shit and you're going to be kind of like prickly or a little bit of an asshole and like, no, we're doing it this way. We're doing it that way. You know, it's like, bro, if you actually knew what you're doing, people would just listen to you.
Right, correct.
Like, you know what I mean? It's you go on a hunt with
just be honest
where
about
you're forcing it almost.
Yeah, man, you're forcing it. Like you're like asking for people's respect, but you're not going to get it because you're being an asshole.
Right.
You know, if I go out there and I'm hunting with you, Joe, in your field, and you're like, no, we're setting the decoys this way, and Carter, grab that. You're setting the decoys a certain way, and I'm like, well, I would never do it this way.
Right.
Man, I don't have shit to say about that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we'll do whatever you think we should do. When you show up, though, and like a dude doesn't know what they're doing, you already know they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And then they're going to ask you for your respect and listening to whatever they say by being an asshole about it.
It's forcing.
Yeah, man, you're forcing it. And it's just like, that's a dude that I don't care how many birds we shoot that day. I don't care how good the hunt is.
Yeah.
We leave there. I don't ever want to hunt with you again.
Right. Absolutely.
What about for you?
Me is when people don't kill the birds right away and they'll hold them up in front of the camera and shit like that, right? Or they'll put them in the blind with them, like, look at this guy, look at that guy, and they're petting them and stuff. It's like, dude, that pisses me off. I've had some guys like punching them or like kicking them. And
what about the high fives though?
It's like, dude, that bird's dead.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I'm talking a live
I know, but a lot of
bird.
people don't know that, Joe.
I know, but a lot of people must
the
not
bird,
hunt
where
enough,
the bird is
you know?
like their neck is moving and
when
stuff.
you cut
and
off
like,
a chicken's head, what's
bro.
it do? Right?
Yeah,
It's the same freaking
right,
thing.
right.
I get it. You know, I get it that it could be upsetting. And in the early years, I was just doing it to do it.
Yeah.
So what? But I will say, when you're holding a live bird, you've never seen a video of me holding a live duck and slapping it, or you know what I mean, holding it out like it was coming in like this and it's still alive. Dude, I've seen videos like that on TikTok and Instagram. That's the number one thing where I'm like,
bro, I've seen that in person.
This guy sucks. You know, like this is bullshit.
I'm sure you've seen that in person.
I've never seen that in person.
I've seen it.
I've seen it in person.
I've had it where like, hey, grab these geese, and they'll grab them and they won't kill them because either A, they don't know how to freaking break its neck, or B, they think it's dead, but they're holding it by the foot and I can see the head sticking out and its eyes are wide open, and they'll throw it in the blind and get back down while more birds are coming. And then I'll be like, hey, give me that bird and I'll kill it. Right.
Yeah.
I've had that happen, but I've never had anybody throwing up a wounded goose or a wounded duck or anything because I'd freak out.
I've never that, but I've seen people petting them, holding them, petting them.
Correct.
Their heads moving and looking around. That's messed up, bro.
Yeah, I've freaked the fuck out. I've killed a lot of animals, a lot of varmints, a lot of birds.
Right.
Everything. And my number one rule, no suffering.
Right, yep, correct.
No suffering, dude.
Yep.
Like, just, you can't do that. If they're hurt and you're messing around with them, you and I have a problem.
Right, correct.
A big problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it goes further than that. I mean, it's
you're not
essentially
respecting the resource.
You're not respecting the resource. You have no idea what the hell it is you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't know how many people are working to try to support the resource that we still have left.
Right, correct. Like I have a on the way here, there was a little dude. It was a hen mallard, and it looked like there was 8 to 12 little goslings with it, right in the middle of the road, dude. And I like put the brakes on and like almost went into the other lane because it was like going to mine, and it was around a curve, and I couldn't see if a car was coming or not. Like, dude, I love these fucking animals.
Right.
And this time of the year, let them thrive and let them stay alive and do what you can. I mean, help them across the road right. But I was just like, God, please don't let a car come. That sucks so bad.
So bad.
They made it across. I was like, hell yeah, right? Like some people that are purposely running them over and shit. It's like, that's fucked.
It's not cool.
Yeah, people don't know though, man. Like a lot of people I think have a very jaded view of like what hunters are in this country too. But I think you'd be, if you found somebody who was serious about it or, you know, passionate about it, you would probably find somebody who is very serious about making sure that those animals have the best chance that they can to survive, to grow the population. Like people just don't get that.
No, they don't. What do you think about the new law from you can hunt ducks in the South Zone till the 5th of December or something?
I think it's sick. I wish they'd do it in the Central Zone.
Right.
I mean, they used to do it. We used to have the season splits, right, where the South Zone was open longer.
Yep.
And then they stopped it for some reason for like 3 to 5 years. And so I'm really happy that they have it back. I just wish, like you said, it's a good start, but I just wish that they would start our season later.
Yeah.
So that the whole state can take part in it. Because
like if you were going to make the law, they're like, all right, Joey, tell us what we're doing. What would you do?
We talked about this a bunch, actually.
We've talked about it a lot, so I'll be really brief with it. But I would have 2 different types of licenses where you have your own opener. So you still have the people, like, there's like a crazy statistic that most of the people that get licenses to hunt in those first 2 weeks.
Yeah, correct.
And then they don't hunt the rest of the season.
Yep.
So you still give them their time.
Yep.
And then you just have your start date 2 weeks later so you can hunt 2 weeks later.
So you're saying you can only buy one license. If you buy that first one, you can't buy the second one.
Right.
Yeah, so you would end when we normally end.
Not a bad idea.
And then we can end when we buy our license.
Right.
Which is pretty cool.
So that's back to way back when we were talking how I'm shooting dirty puddle ducks where they're just ugly looking. And it's like, yeah, I would totally trade that, not shoot those, get a different license, and then shoot those big Canada mallards that are coming through.
And have 2 weeks in December.
Yeah, correct. That would be sweet.
100%.
To your point, Joey, it was 40 to 60% only hunt the first 2 weeks.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
That's a lot.
And apparently, Carter, correct me if I'm wrong, Minnesota statistically throughout the years has had the most duck stamps sold in the country.
I think that's true. You know, one thing that I've suggested too that you could do with it is you could still open it at the same time, but when we have the split, instead of it being a 5-day split, make it a 20-day split.
Yeah.
Joey, Minnesota's third. Top states are Texas, California, then Minnesota.
Okay.
But like you could have a longer split because that split is literally the beginning of October.
Yeah.
I mean, you're hunting that first week in the last week of September, and then the next like 2 to 3 weeks of hunting are terrible.
Right.
The worst time of the year to hunt ducks in Minnesota. We have no new birds, and all the birds that we had that were planning on leaving are gone because they just been shot for a week.
Yeah. It would be tough for the wood duck hunters. Like I like going to a little back hole and shooting wood ducks is fun. Right.
Yeah.
And when those big mallards come down, those wood ducks aren't around anymore. Like that first kind of cold snap, they're see you later and they're south.
Yeah. And that's where like maybe the idea that like, I know, where'd you get that from, Joe? Peter.
The guy who owns Pit Properties.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's his last name again?
Krog.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I just didn't know for sure.
Krog,
Yeah, I think
Peter
like that's
Krog.
the other idea you could go with, which I think it's a great idea. Like having 2 different licenses to purchase.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad idea at all.
And honestly, man, if you think about it, like what we spend our licenses on, a lot of it go back towards conservation.
Yeah.
And so, like, you could sell an extra special season at the end and sell it for $50 and give the state a whole lot more money and give it back to the birds and whatever.
Yep.
And like, there's just so many different options you can do. And all these people are getting butthurt that like the ducks are coming down later and they want to push their seasons to February, but that's when they're mating. So that's like an absolute no-go.
Right.
The only thing that makes sense to me is to like, think about how many times that you've seen ducks, so many ducks in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Up until Christmas.
Up until Christmas, yeah.
It's like, holy shit. If we opened up a 2-week season on like rivers or whatever, you can't hunt them in the fields.
Zones or something.
Yeah, river zones, whatever. That pressure would push a lot of ducks out of Minnesota further south. Everyone else would be a lot happier because Scott has told me they'll never allow more than 60 days in the Mississippi Flyway.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I get that. But I mean, you only hear people arguing about the ducks. You don't hear them arguing about the goose season because I think they got the goose season pretty good now.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like cool.
It was a lot more liberal. It's a lot more liberal.
Right. Yeah. And that too. And I mean, things have changed over the years. The ducks don't get down to Arkansas until this time and that time. It's like, well, now I think we have way more corn and way more water resources and shit like that all the way up the Flyway. So, I mean, a duck stays in one spot for 2-3 days longer. That adds up coming down the Flyway, right?
Right.
And next thing you know, yeah, your season's done and the ducks are showing up.
It's also been extremely warm in Canada.
Right. Yeah, that too. Yeah. I mean, we didn't get a good push of geese until November,
like right.
September we were sitting there and Winnipeg was loaded and they weren't coming down.
They stayed there for like almost a month.
Yeah. So it's just, when it comes to those rules and laws, you're going to get your head chopped off either way you say it. Because
for sure.
People are going to see this and be like, no, that fucking bullshit. And then other people are like, yeah, it's a good idea. You know, it's just the duck hunters, when it comes to making the laws, they're never going to see eye to eye.
I also feel like there's a lot more duck hunters than there are goose hunters.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely there is. Yeah.
Yeah. You need more. I think you need a lot more permission on land to be able to successfully hunt geese, which is a huge barrier for most people, especially the 40 to 60% of people that are hunting in only the first like 2 weeks of the season.
Correct.
You know, if you could change anything about like goose hunting laws, is there anything you would change?
I don't think so, to be honest.
How do you feel about some of the like gray areas with like baiting and some of the fields and, you know, some of that stuff? Like you probably don't really run into it too much, like with what you're doing, but
we have of like, you know, I don't know. I think they should let us hunt the refuge for like a couple days, just to either mix them up, but that could push them out. See, it's kind of a double-edged sword. Like, hey, I hunt the refuge. Well, that's where they stay. Well, they also don't leave. Well, I've ran into baited fields where, you know, it got hail damage and they just chopped it down and let it lay. And there's 5,000 honkers and ducks sitting in there and you can't hunt it. You know, it's almost like, let a guy hunt it once and get him out of there and then let us keep hunting them. But then you'd push them down faster. You know, I don't know. There's really not quite an answer I know for that. I mean, like I said, I think the goose season is where it needs to be. But the gray areas with baiting, I mean, yeah, you shouldn't be able to go out to a freaking grass sod farm and throw out 20 bags of corn and yellow lines and hunt that, right? But I don't know. I don't know.
Do you think that
what's considered baiting too, right?
Well, that's the hard part. I think
you go
that's
into
where
a cornfield because remember Sheelander, he was getting barked at by that one DNR. Was like, oh, this field looks like it's baited because there's corn cobs on the ground. Like,
man. When
that's what happens when you farm.
When the combine stops for a second,
right?
like you spill some fucking corn.
Yeah, that's why the birds are in here, because there is food left over.
No shit.
You know, like
where the fuck do you want us to hunt them? If
exactly. Yeah. So that stuff doesn't make sense.
We're also a lot stricter on flooding here than any other state.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go down to Iowa, you can flood all the corn you want.
Flood
and
whatever.
There's no like gray area.
Right.
Like it's just black and white. Either it's baiting or it's not.
No, it's not. Yeah.
Here, you don't know if you're
know.
baiting or not. Because I've heard so many stories of people down south of us here where they're standing corn meeting a grass field.
Yeah.
And DNR comes and checks them, sees one corn cob where they're sitting on the ground in where they're standing, and he's like, "This is baited. I'm taking your guns."
Yeah, like that.
And it's like, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah, that's shit.
That's ridiculous. If you're chucking multiple corn cobs into your shit, sure.
Then
if you are out in the field and you are breaking apart a corn cob and you are spreading it across the field, sure, I totally get that as baited. But you're sitting in the corn and there's a corn cob on the ground.
Yep.
No, dude.
No. Also, I think if I pick up a corn cob, because people do it, dude, you get bored. You pick up a corn cob and you're sitting there pulling a couple kernels off it. It's just bored, you know? You're just being bored.
Yeah, you don't sit
baiting.
there.
You took it out of that field 5 seconds ago and you just broke it apart, you know?
Yeah, you're not sitting there. You're not sitting there like, oh, as soon as I start breaking up this corn, boys,
it's baiting.
It's just wait, we're gonna kill them now.
You're right,
you know what I mean? Like it's not like anything is changing on you.
I'm not pulling them closer because I picked apart this corn cob right at my feet. Right?
Yeah,
they're not trying to come down. So.
How'd you feel about them going from 3 to 5 geese a day?
I love it. To be honest, I don't care. I actually hope and dream that there's a day where there's either not a limit or we have 15. Just because I like killing geese.
Yeah, strictly because of that.
Yeah, right.
From a guide's perspective,
because I'm a greedy. I don't care. We're quitting when I want to quit. You know, I've never had that problem.
Yeah.
You know, like, hey, we have 80 geese. Yeah, but the limit's 150. I don't care. We're done. You know, like, I'm not going to sit here for another 3-4 hours and hopefully get another flock or two, right? I mean, it just is what it is. When I think we had a really good hunt, a fair hunt, then that's usually when we call it.
Yeah, for sure, man. You can't hold it to like certain numbers and stuff.
Right.
Anybody who shows up that's thinking like, oh, it's going to be held to, if we get this number, then it's a successful hunt. Those are going to be your worst clients you probably can have.
Yeah. Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And yeah, I'm a greedy fucker when it comes to it. Like after we decoy a fat flock of geese, I want to decoy another fat flock of geese.
That's a tongue twister.
And another one. You know, like it just is what it is.
It doesn't get old.
Yeah. The worst part about hunting to me is when you have to stop because you're at your limit.
Yeah.
It's cool because you got a limit, but dude, I love doing this. Like I love decoying geese
and calling at geese.
Yeah, exactly. Like what we were doing in the pit in Thanksgiving. We stopped 5 short and we were still landing fat flocks because we just love it. We love watching them. We love hearing them. We love calling at them. We love tricking them.
Yeah, being amongst them.
Correct. Yeah, that's right. And even like leg man hunting, people are like, "Oh, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense." It's like it's a game inside of a game.
Right.
When you land a flock of geese and you get to hear the noises they're making and the way they act and the way they shake and move, it's crazy. You don't get to see that if you're just crushing them at 5 feet, which is cool too. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Still love killing them, but I also love decoying them and watching them.
Yeah.
Right. And it goes back to, leg band hunting, you're not doing it for the right reasons. It's like coming from the guy that likes to shoot big bucks. Like I haven't found a good horn recipe yet. So it's like, why don't you just shoot a doe then? Right. I don't know. I mean, people will bark at me about that too, but it's the same thing. Like, why would I just shoot? I have goose meat, you know, I don't need to overflow my freezer in goose meat.
Right.
Why don't I just shoot the one that I want?
Yeah.
It's just like buck hunting. Right.
It really is though.
It really is though.
It really is. Yeah.
Though. And getting them to land and stuff is just a whole different level.
It's so much better.
Yeah.
It's so much better. I got pretty good at shooting. Carter's going to talk shit, but I got really good at shooting when I was young. And so I was able to take those pass shots at 40, 50 yards.
Yeah.
You know, Cal and I have been hunting, and him and I are both really good at pass shots, you know, but when you're filming and when you're thinking about it, it's like, no. I want to like be a good hunter. I don't want to be a good shooter. I want to like get those things where I can see the boogies.
That's what I'm saying.
In their eyes.
Yep. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
when you started guiding, did you think in your head that like this was going to be your career and your path forward is like waterfowl hunting as a total, or was it just like, I'm going to get a job. I like hunting birds.
I was sure hoping it was, cause I've had jobs and I was so bad at staying on a schedule when it was hunting season.
Yeah.
I'd come up with any excuse like, dude, it's supposed to be snow or after a snow day or a north wind or anything. Like, I don't want to be here, just like anybody else. But so I tried to figure out like, how could I get paid doing it? And when I started getting paid doing it, got better at goose calling, and thank God for social media that, that was it. When I left high school, I remember thinking like, I got to figure this hunting thing out. I have to figure this out because there's nothing else I want to do. Right.
Yeah. That's cool, man.
So it's thank God for social media. Otherwise I'd be in the yellow pages begging people to come hunt somehow. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
yeah, man, it's kind of a crazy thing to like, I think what have we been doing this 9 years, Joe?
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. So like 9 years.
How long have you guys been doing the podcast?
Since 2019. Yeah.
Nice.
6 years.
Nice.
Yep.
Which that's crazy to think about.
It is. We didn't.
That's actually so crazy.
That's actually so crazy.
We didn't get that serious about like a hardcore schedule though till like probably 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Like in the beginning, we were doing them like we would do one every couple weeks or we would go.
Back then there were only 4
really
waterfowl podcasts.
Yeah. Now there's a bunch.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Are you going to do a cool trip this year and go see? Like I feel like every year you kind of like last year you went to Zinc, right?
Yep.
And then the year before that you went to Dave Smith.
Yep.
You going anywhere this year?
Another guy that I'd really, really like to talk to would be Bill Saunders.
Yeah.
He's another one of those original OGs, dude. He's been the guy that's been killing geese for a long time out there.
He's also like a nut.
Yeah, correct.
He's a nutcase. Every story I've heard about him, and then he came out with like a Star Wars line call. And we were talking
with
to Mike Callion about it.
I don't know the Star Wars guys, but
Stormtrooper. Yeah. And I was talking to Mike Callion about it off the podcast, and he's like, dude, that guy is a fucking
lunatic
psycho.
Yeah.
About
Loves
Star
killing
Wars and killing geese. He's like, but at the same time, I think he honestly likes trout fishing more. And I'm like, no way.
There's no way.
Bill Saunders.
Right.
Right. So that would be such a cool interview to hear you do. I loved the Fred Zink interview, by the way.
Yeah, me too. It was so good, Joe.
Yeah.
It was so good. That got me so fired up.
Being around Fred and seeing everything he's got is just so dude, Tim Grounds is the godfather, right?
Yeah.
Fred Zink is the Pablo Escobar.
He turned it into something big.
100%. Right?
Yeah, he really found a way to really make it big.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But then what would you call Phil Robertson?
Oh, the Godfather?
He is the cartel.
That
Pablo Escobar worked for. Well, they owned it, but
It's a really good question. I'd say Phil is like the United States government.
Yeah. In a way.
He's supplying Pablo.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah, maybe.
He's the CIA.
He's just running it all from behind the scenes. Yeah. No, I still think that we've kind of glossed over the Phil Robertson thing. I wanted to point one thing out too. Dale, you know who Dale Bordelon is? I don't know how to say his last name, like a Louisianan. He makes Bayou Beast cane calls. I don't know, kind of an OG. He does like a lot of the stuff. Like, you should look him up. He does some really cool shit.
You see the guy on TikTok? He's a little older. Yeah,
he's
got like a little shop.
He wears like a train conductor hat.
Yeah, and he wears coveralls.
Yep, always like Liberty overalls.
He has pet ducks.
Yeah, and when he duck calls
in his backyard.
Yeah, and he's like, dude, it sounded nasty.
No,
yes,
yeah,
I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he's a G, man. Like, I love his content because he does everything the old way.
Yeah.
So he's shooting like Remington shotguns from the early 1900s. He's got all of his own, like his boats are all dugout pirogues. So he digs them all out and cuts down a cypress tree. And anyway, he posted, some photos with him and Phil Robertson. And he said, I think the easiest way to equate Phil to like what duck hunting is, it's like Michael Jordan. Like Phil's like the Michael Jordan of duck hunting. Like everybody respects him. Everybody knows what his heart's about. And like, love Jesus, was doing it for whatever he wanted to do it for.
Beyond passionate. You can just tell through the lens. You know?
Loved duck hunting, gave up a lot of other things to be a duck hunter because that's what he loved.
Yep.
And was one of the greatest, maybe the greatest, influenced generations at least.
To do it, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
It's
pretty crazy.
You know how everyone was posting videos and pictures of him after he had passed, and it was that famous, or like that sound that you can put a reel to, where he's like,
I don't know which one.
It's like somber music in the background.
Oh, yeah, and he does the, I just keep life simple.
Yep.
Yeah, that one.
I saw a different one, because I saw like 100 in like 17 seconds of scrolling.
Right.
I'm like, okay, yep. He was a very influential person, of course.
Yeah, for sure.
But what hit me really hard is, like, obviously he was a huge Christian, and he talked about it, like his past strifes and like all the problems that he had back in the day. And that's what like made me truly respect Phil, is like he was just so open about like his marital problems.
Yeah.
Back in the day with Miss K.
Yep.
And then I heard a sound of him talking. He's like, I don't want you to cry when I'm dead.
Yep.
And whatever. And my dad has always said that.
Want you to celebrate.
Yep.
Yeah.
And my dad has always said that to me. He's like, when I die, I don't want you to cry. I just want you to freaking dance and booze and have a great time, because I'm with God.
Right.
You know, and that's exactly what Phil said too. And I'm like, wow, that is just so cool.
Sweet. But I'm definitely going to booze and cry. So, there's no way around that one. Dude.
Yeah, man.
Sorry, Pop. But yeah. I mean, what a turning point it was when he went on mainstream TV, right?
Yeah, man.
Like that's
for sure.
The first time in a long time anyone's prayed on national TV.
Correct. Yeah.
Well, it's cool too, because I think like Phil did it his way, and at the end of the day, right, like Duck Dynasty, even like that show, it painted such a good light of duck hunters.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Which I'm sure would be easy to do if you were just like hanging out with those guys, because they just love duck hunting.
Yeah. When that show came out, I literally thought it was going to be the Duckman. Yeah. I was like, this is going to be fucking A&E is wild. Fucked. Yeah, right. Yeah, like, oh my God. And yeah, it didn't happen, but it was so fun.
Is there anyone these days that is like up and coming that you're like pumped to watch their videos?
It's so funny you say that, because when you were talking, Cal, I'm like, all right, next question I got to ask him. Is there any other like influencer or any other big name guy or little name guy that you think is going to get big? And like, who do you watch on YouTube or anything, for instance, right? Dude, to be honest, those North Wind guys on YouTube, they're called North Wind. They put out some really good videos. So every time they post a video, I'll click it and watch it.
Yeah.
Right? Otherwise, not any that I can think of offhand. Yeah. It's in waterfall hunting, right? I mean, the deer hunting and all that stuff, that's a different realm that I don't really look into much, but yeah, I don't know. That's about it.
What do you think like all the people these days are missing that makes you want to watch?
Good calling.
Good calling. That's like your staple.
That's my staple. You can have great footage. You can have not GoPro footage.
Yeah.
Good camera. And if your calling sucks, I can't watch it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, that's a big thing for me too.
Correct. It's a big thing for damn near everybody I talk to. Yeah. People get as salty as they want, but everybody that I talk to says the same thing.
And I also don't want to like deter people from like making videos, because it's only going to make the sport grow, and it's going to make everything better for everybody, Yep.
Do what you want to do, for sure.
Right. But I mean, the main thing that I feel like is missing is personality. Yeah. And like being a genuine person. Like I want to feel who you are as a person. Yeah. Like I don't want to, like I was saying earlier, like you're doing it for controversy. You're like putting on this character. You're putting on this character.
You're doing it for likes, and and if social media wasn't a thing, you wouldn't do it. And I can just tell
be you,
right
dude.
Away.
Just be you.
I think. Well, I was gonna say too. Like I think one thing that we're gonna start seeing though that is gonna be different. Like when you started making videos, Snapchats, whatever content you were putting out, man, like you weren't really doing it other than the fact that you were already out there doing it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, correct.
So it was just a part of your life. It was just you sharing your natural kind of surroundings in your life with people on the internet. Now, there's been a different path that's been paved, and it's kind of interesting because we had Mike Stelzner on last week, and we were talking about the difference in going, like there's no more pro staffs really.
Yeah.
Like pro staffs kind of going away.
Yeah.
And I think part of that is because people like yourself, what we're doing with Midwest Flyways, like I think people have figured out that they can make their own content. They can have their own channel. They can do what they want, say what they want. And there's a path to a place where, you could be supported by companies, both with product and financially. And now I think the goal of these younger generations and the way that they see that path forward is different. And so instead of them just putting stuff out because they were just trying to have fun and do it, like when we first started making videos, we were just like, we're already going to do this. Like, this is going to be fun anyway. Like, we might as well just bring a camera guy. Like, let's just have fun. And now I think it's way more about like, can I grow this big channel? Can I, can I get to a place where I can get paid or get products for free or whatever, whatever that goal is, because I think that's such a viable thing. When you start making content, bro, I mean, there was like a select group of guys that had figured out how to sell DVDs or make a product like Zinc or something that, but there wasn't like this huge, opportunity path where you could just start getting paid a bunch of money to shoot ducks or geese.
Everybody talks about like when you figure your pathway out, like, oh, luck had a lot to do with it, right? And luck did have a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
Like I got lucky that I was on the back end of the DVD days and what good footage I thought was, and I put that footage to a standard. And then I also was young enough that I learned the computer and social media and Snapchat and Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, right? Does that make sense?
Totally.
And it's like, so I just was drawn into it. Now you kind of get guys that, like Zinc told me and Foils told me, like, I'm not getting on that YouTube, man. I don't know nothing about it. I'm not a Snapchat. I don't know. And you'll see him kind of Snapchat sometimes, and it's just, it's like whatever that is.
Yeah.
But it's
whatever that is.
Yeah, right. But it's
you got the
older guys, and then you get the younger guys that don't know who Zinc or Foils is, or any of those dudes, and you can kind of tell.
Maybe just
you
don't
can
have
kind of tell that they didn't grow up with the DVDs that we did, Joey. Right? So
yeah.
It's
at the end of the day, though,
tough
man,
to watch, but I'll never talk shit about anybody that's chasing their dream and working for themselves.
Yeah.
Good for you. Keep going. Even if I don't like it. Right.
But also figure out how to make it authentically yours. And it doesn't matter if we or Joe Heintz or anybody is a fan of your channel. If you have people that are a fan of what you do and you're doing it the way you want to do it, that's really all you have to do.
Right. Correct. I mean, it's no different than music.
Just be you.
There's people out there making good music that I don't like, but they're killing it. They're going on tour and selling however many songs or whatever. So
man,
it's
a testament to it too that you can really just be yourself, because online there's so many, even in like hunting, there's a million different personalities.
Oh yeah.
There's guys that are way more serious and tell less jokes and they have their own following. Then there's guys that are way more about jokes and having fun and
swear and potty humor.
That's right, man. Like there's 100 different ways to do it, but just do it the way you want to do it. And if you build that following, that'll be good. If you build a following off of just doing whatever you think is going to do well for you, you're going to be in trouble.
Right.
It's going to suck.
What about you? You got anybody that you, or any of you guys?
I mean, I don't know that
people or anything
in terms of like
follow
influencers. I will say in terms of like videography and reels and like just quality of content, I love what Zach Bouzis does.
Who's that?
Zach Bouzis.
Zach Bouzis.
Yeah, he's a young videographer.
He did like all the reels for Loaded Timber.
Yeah, do you follow Loaded Timber?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
they're out of Oklahoma.
So when it comes to stuff like that, I almost respect the editors more than the people they film.
That's what Zach is.
Yeah, like I'll see a good edit, and I just, because I edit too, and I just respect the shit out of people that can edit that good.
Right.
Like, holy shit, that was dope. Like, almost give you goosebumps, like.
Bouzis is an artist, man.
Sick.
I just wish we could find someone like that.
There is a heavy art. There is a heavy art to editing for sure, dude.
Yeah.
And I've met a couple people along the way where it's like, I'd love to hire them. Right.
Yeah.
I wish I could just take those 3 guys, just handpick them, like,
I cannot afford
for 2 weeks. Yeah, correct. Yeah, right. Spend $10,000 for that week. And like, all right.
But, yeah, man. Yeah, well, that's what happens. Like guys get good and then they go off and they start doing bigger things and making more money and you can't afford them anymore.
That's right. That happens.
Yeah.
But you also have to like get along with them too.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
They can't suck if you're traveling with them, right?
Right.
Yeah, man, that's the biggest part of it, right? Like, it's just finding people that gel together, and there's people that are good at it and they suck to be around, and there's people that are okay at it and they're awesome to be around, and you end up hiring the guys that are kind of okay sometimes more.
Yeah.
Because you'd rather just have them with you.
I've had camera guys come and go, but the ones that I'm with now, like Hunter and Coy and Keaton and Dylan.
Those guys are just obsessed with bird hunting.
And and they love it. They're hunters too, and they're fun to travel with. It's a fucking blast. So.
Yeah, you got to have those guys too. Another thing that's hard with like hiring cameramen for waterfowl stuff is it can be a real bitch of a grind.
Yeah, correct.
And like even if this guy's a great video editor and a great videographer and is going to get every shot, how not happy is this dude to put waiters on at 3 a.m? Right. How much am I going to hear this? Yeah. Throughout the whole day. It's just all that stuff that builds.
You got to be a waterfowl hunter to film waterfowl hunts, just like you got to be a deer hunter to film deer hunts, and you got to be a, festival goer to film festivals or whatever.
Right. Or just be a crazy person who just loves being out and doing,
some people
whatever
just
you got to do to
having
get
the camera
shot.
in their hand.
That's right. There's some guys that don't love duck hunting, but man, you put them behind a lens and they're obsessed with getting the best footage and the best shot. And like those guys are just psychos. They'll do anything.
Yep. Kicks ass.
Yeah.
Right. To go back to your question of like people you love to watch, like up and newcomers. There is this guy, it's like Cherry Hill Outdoors or something. And he's like this super humble younger guy. He's younger than me. I bet he's probably like 26 now. But he's had like outdoor limits on his channel a couple of times. He's had a couple of like bigger names on his channel. Who are those two guys from Arkansas? They're brothers. They have a YouTube channel.
The dude you're talking about, is it Cherry Creek?
Cherry Creek. He is fun to watch. He has had some unbelievable duck hunts. Yeah. Oh. Unbelievable. Like he'll travel all over and he's just a normal guy. Really? And he's just trying to build a YouTube channel, but he's like 100% being himself. It's very enjoyable for me to watch. Like good. I could hunt.
I'll have to look him up too. I'm talking that guy you were talking about too.
Now that we're talking about it too, they're not like young dudes necessarily, but two guys that have recently started channels that I will watch for sure. Cade Tricky.
Oh, dude. A stud. Just a
unbelievable
stud.
Human being.
Forrest
and
Carpenter.
Loves hunting with his whole heart. And Forrest Carpenter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did Forrest make a YouTube channel?
Yeah. Yeah, Forrest is making his own videos.
And he's a good caller.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Oh, my God. Yeah. And I love Forrest's personality. Have you heard the podcast that we did with Forrest? Forrest and Kyle? Dude. Seriously, one of my favorite podcasts we ever did.
That kicks ass.
It was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another cool thing about this industry is, God, you meet some cool people.
Yeah.
Like, damn, I wish we lived closer. We'd hang out all the time.
Yeah.
For like sure. The first time I met John Walls. It's like, good thing.
Dude, I love John.
Good thing we don't live next to each other, John. We would party way too hard.
Yeah,
dude,
have way too much fun.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you find people. I think I will say too, a lot of people I meet from the waterfowl industry, for the most part, are pretty salt of the earth people.
Yeah.
Pretty good people. Yeah. They just, they're just trying to have a good time.
A lot of people come and go, but the ones that stay, they're there for a reason,
Yeah, for sure, man.
So, shit, dude. Holy
hell. Joe, this has been amazing, dude.
10 o'clock.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to break this up into 2 parts or what we're going to do, but it's been awesome. Yeah. We'll just keep doing this every year. We'll keep having you back on and go through a bunch of shit. It's fun. This time we got to do a little bit longer.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Yeah. Dude, I love the pad. Love talking to you guys as always.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's a good time, dude. This place is really cool. Super proud of all your guys' success, too.
Thanks, buddy.
Congrats on
you
all
too,
that.
man.
Well,
you too.
Yeah, man. Go check out Northline Calls. What's the website? NorthlineCallCo.com?
NorthlineCo.com.
NorthlineCo.com. Go check out Joe's new calls. Are there any in stock right now, Joe?
Yeah, we got some in stock. There's some of them that are sold out, but I'm going to get those back. So
okay. All right, guys. Go check out NorthlineCo.com. Appreciate you, buddy.
Appreciate you.
Joe, one more thing before we go.